what does it mean to have an affection for someone the way that Christ has an affection for someone? Right? What does it mean to love someone in the same way that Christ does? Like, how does that happen? How does that yearning, how does it get stirred within us where we are able to love to that depth and to that degree? I believe we will discover that today in our passage. So we're going to continue in Philippians. We're going to continue in chapter 1. We're going to move to verses 6 through 8. But we're really going to focus on 7 and 8. We're going to come back to 6 probably next week. So Philippians 1, 6 through 8. Being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. It is right for me to feel this way about all of you, since I have you in my heart, and whether I am in chains or defending and confirming the gospel, all of you share in God's grace with me. God can testify how I long for all of you with the affection of Christ Jesus. Do you hear that? Paul longs for them with the affection of Christ Jesus. All right, so what does that mean? Well, first of all, let's think about this. The affection that Jesus had for us drove him to the cross. And therefore, to have an affection for someone else the way Christ does for us means that we are willing to love in that sacrificial manner. But how does that happen? Well, I think going back to what we've been talking about all week, Paul's affection for the Philippians is a byproduct of a common love for the gospel, right? It's something much bigger than them, right? It's their love, their mutual partnership, their mutual sacrifice. Now, so in this section, right, Paul says, it is right for me to feel this way about you. And here, listen to what Paul says. He says in 7 and 8, I see God's grace at work in your life. He says, Jesus has given me this yearning for you. Third, he says, I hold you in my heart, and therefore, it's right for me to be confident that you are going to persevere in your faith. Now, isn't that beautiful? Right? Paul was so connected to them because of the gospel in their relationship. He was able to constantly see God's grace in their lives that caused him to yearn for them like Jesus does. He held them in their heart, and if he was able to encourage them, I know you might hit some bumps in the road, but you are going to continue to persevere in your faith. Now, how necessary is that for us at our current moment, right? Like, we have all sorts of things around us that are so uncertain. How much do we need to be assured, hey, like, our faith is intact? And as we are intricately connected to others in gospel partnership, we're going to see grace at work in their lives. If we think about it, the background that Paul is writing against is a stoic background, right? You don't be vulnerable, you don't show emotions, you be cool, you don't give anyone a chance to hurt you. But Paul was so tied to his partnership, his relationship with them because of the gospel, that his love was not mechanical. And so therefore, our love for people is a byproduct of our love for the gospel. So I want to leave you with this question. How can you stir up your love for the gospel, and as a result, out of an overflow of that, begin to love others who are also partners with you in the gospel?